So, welcome in everybody. Hope you've had a good week since I've seen you last. We're ready for another mindful movement session here today to help you to relax, mobilize your body, and to help you move a little bit easier, hopefully. So, wherever you are, make sure you get in a nice, comfortable position. And when you're ready to, we can start breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Continue that breathing in your own time. And when you're ready to, you can start to close down your eyes and focus inwards on that breathing. Just nice, gentle breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax down where you are. Keep that breathing going. And as you do so, notice how it impacts you physically, how it changes your state of relaxation, how your lungs inflate, your chest lift as you breathe in and as you breathe out, how it relaxes the shoulders down and just overall sends almost like a wave of calm over your body. Just bring that focus inwards just to the breathing, focusing on breathing in, breathing out. Let's keep that breathing going, but as you do so, let's thank ourselves for turning up here today. As we always mention here, the hardest step is often just turning up. So you've already overcome that first step, but now we're here. We've got to remind ourselves to stay focused and stay in the present at the moment on the movements, the breathing, the exercises that we'll be doing over the next hour. We don't need to worry about what's come before us today or what's coming up afterwards. All we need to worry about is the here and now in each part of this session that we do over the next hour. Keep that breathing going as you do so. So once you thanked yourself, keep the breathing going, but as you do so, you can start to open up your eyes. And as we breathe in now, we're going to squeeze the shoulders up. And as we breathe out, we're going to relax them down. Just repeat through that in your own time, in your own breath, however long it takes you to breathe in, squeeze the shoulders up, squeeze them nice and tight as well. And then as you breathe out, just relax them down again. And again, however long it takes you to breathe in, bring the shoulders up, and however long it takes to breathe out, relax them down. Doing this is helping to force those muscles to relax on the way down. It helps to send blood to the area, which is containing all the things our muscles need to keep it nice and healthy. Yeah. Now, instead of going up and down as we breathe, we're going to come forwards with the shoulders and then squeezing the shoulder blades back. I'm going to turn to the side just to make it easier to just visualize. So as I breathe out, I'm pushing forwards. As I breathe in, I'm squeezing those shoulder blades back together. Going back and forth between the two. Yeah, let's mobilize those a little bit more by going around in a circle with the shoulders now. Just nice, easy movements here to begin with. Just rotating them around. It doesn't matter which direction you'll do because in a moment we will change that. Just keep it going around. Nice, gentle movements. It doesn't have to be really big circles, just going around, getting them moving first of all here. The best that you can do. Just change direction, go the opposite way. And again, keep it moving there. The best that you can do. Good. Okay, let's go back to some breathing here. As you breathe in, I want you to bring your hands up, and then as you breathe out, rotate them and push them down. And then just go back and forth between those two movements, breathing in, bringing the hands up, breathing out, pushing down. I want you to almost visualize as you're doing this, as you breathe in and lift those hands up, I almost want you to feel like your spine is extending up and through. And as you breathe out, I want you to relax in the position you're in, but almost not let yourself like fall into it or relax into it too much. So you sit up nice and tall, and then you breathe out, relax, but don't let yourself flop down. Just relax into the position. Good. Okay, on the next one here, we're going to keep our hands here. As you breathe out, we're going to push one hand forwards. And you breathe in, bring it back in. And swap over to the other side. Breathing out, push the arm out. Breathe in, pull it in. Just alternate back and forth between the two. Good range of motion here on this. So reach forwards the best that you can do as you breathe out. And then bring it back in. And if the best you can do is only a small distance, that's absolutely fine. Just do whatever you can do. Don't worry about how far I can reach or anybody else can here. It's all about what you can do. Okay, let's extend those a little bit more by leaning forwards as you reach forwards and then bringing it back in. Now, if you can do it without putting the arm on the lap, you're welcome to. If you're like me and you struggle with balance, you may need to hold on with the other arm, reach forwards, and then bringing it back in. Oh, got a spasm. Yeah, reach forwards the best that you can do, and then bring it back in. You may even want to or are able to reach the forwards, putting the head down as well. Bring it back in. I'll leave that up to you to where you can get to on this. Let's see if you can almost feel a bit of a stretch as you reach forwards. Back in. Good work. It's like everybody that I can see has got that good. Yeah, let's extend that a little bit more. So as we reach forward, instead of coming straight back, we're going to come up and over and down. And then we swap over to the other side. So reaching forwards, up, over and down. And just going back and forth between the two here, the best that you can do. Good work, everybody. Bringing it in to the center again. Instead of going forwards, we're going to go out to the side next. Go out to one side, bringing it back in. So the first gentle version here, just reaching out. Breathe out as you push the arm out. Breathe in as you pull it in. Nice, gentle, controlled movements. Okay. Let's reach a little bit more. So as you reach over, you can hold on with the other arm if you need to, and then reach as far as you can without folding to the side, of course. And then if you can bring the head down onto the arm as you reach out, just to extend that body over a little bit more. And this will naturally curl that spine over to the side. So mobilizing the body, getting everything warmed up, get everything moving. And I always say about doing the spinal movements as often as you can, the ones we do through our neck and the rest of our spine. But if there's any movements here that you feel like are really beneficial to you, don't be afraid just to stick them in at like random points of the day. You know, you're at the desk, maybe doing some work or whatever it may be, and you just go, "Oh, I just need to do that movement, that stretch, or whatever it may be." It can be quite nice just to do it, loosen up that area, helps you to take the focus away from whatever you're doing as well for a moment, and then you can refocus. And I often find that's a better way of getting stuff done as well that I need to get done. Just to take myself away from it for a second, do some movement, and then bring myself back to it. I'm a lot more productive that way. Good. So we're going to reach out to the side now, but instead of coming straight back, we're going to come up and over, or at least the best you can, and then hand down to the opposite side. And it's almost like we're very elaborately putting a seatbelt on. Out to the side, up and over, then down to the opposite side. Good. And if you can't bring your arm up and over, just bring it up to the front a bit more, or wherever you can get to is fine for this. Good work. Bringing it back into the center. Now with both hands, we're going to push up. We're going to come out and around, and then back to the middle, and then just going back and forth between the two. Just imagine that you've got something in front of you and you're almost pushing it up above your head, or at least the best you can, and out and around, and then back to the middle. And again, if you can't reach your hands all the way up above your head, even if it's just a smaller version of that, that's absolutely great. Do what you can, get the best range of motion that you can do, however that looks, and open it up. Just show you from the side as well. So I almost want you to, as you're doing this, you can come up and around, but as you come out, try and bring those arms back as much as you can as well. So don't bring it down in front of you like so. Try and bring it back the best you can as you bring it down. That just helps to open up that chest as you bring it down. Get a little bit of a stretch in there. It really just helps to open it all up the best that we can here. Good work. Let's change the direction of that now. So we're bring it out and around, and then bringing it down into the middle. And almost like you're trying to do a big scoop. Imagine you've got like, oh, the clouds above your head. You're trying to scoop it and then bring it down into your belly area. work, everybody. Okay, let's have a quick little hydration break here before we move into the next bit. But good work so far. Excellent movement, excellent range of motion, all those good things. And the next thing we're going to move on to is our Tai Chi-like movements that we do here. I say like movements because Tai Chi involves feet movement as well as upper body movement. So it's our adapted version of it as such. And I'm by no means an expert. I just adapt what I've found online and make it useful for mobility and relaxation reasons. And I think it's a great way for us to incorporate the breathing with the movements, and that helps to get things flowing in our body. Good. Everybody seems like they've had their drink, which is great. So we're going to start with the basic movement to start with here. First of all, so we bring the arms up to around about eye level and then bring them back down. Just nice gentle movements. We just go back and forth between that to start with. So just bring the arms up, bring them down, and almost imagine your hands, your arms, whatever it may be, are like paintbrushes, and you've got a canvas in front of you, and you've got a nice and gently glide them up and down the canvas. So it's not like so it's not robotic movements, it's nice, gentle, flowing, natural movements going up and down. And in terms of the pace, just do what feels natural. I would say go slow, but sometimes when we go slow, we kind of do it a little bit more robotically because we're trying to slow it down too much. So just go a nice flowing movement, wherever feels natural. Link your breathing in as well if you want to. Maybe breathe in as you bring the arms up, breathe out as you come down. But again, I'll leave that up to you whenever feels normal. Okay, so we will go one up to the front and then back down. This time we're going to go up to the left, come up, both arms up to the left and back down, up to the right and back down, back up to the middle and down to the left and down to the right and down. Back to the middle again, and you guys have got where we're going with this. Forward, to the left, to the right, and repeat through. So I'll leave you to do that in your own time and pace. Good movement, nice flowing movements. Good. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to bring it up to the left. But when we come up to the top, we drop just the left arm down, and then we glide across. And then when we get to the other side, switch the positions of the hand, glide across again. That's two. Then we do one more, swap the hand position, and glide across one more time. And then come down to the right side. But we're going to go back up to the right. Then we drop the right arm down and glide one. Switch hand positions, two. Switching again, three. And then down to the left Then back up the left. Left arm comes down, coming 1, 2, and 3. Down to the right. Back up to the right. Right arm drops down, and we glide 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think you guys have got that there. So continue in your own pace. And again, as I said, just nice slow movements. Try not to let it become robotic, which again could be easier when we're doing certain movements. So just make sure it's nice and flowing. And I'd rather you get it almost a little bit wrong in terms of the movement, but be nice and flowing movements than get it perfect and be all stiff and robotic. The idea here is to really have our body flowing, connecting with each other, nice, smooth movements. So I'd rather smooth movements than perfect movements here. Okay, we are going to do. Oh, a bit of a spasm there. It's very cold at the moment here in Japan, and my spasms are going crazy, especially the last couple of days. Anyway, we're going to do another type of movement here. We've done it before, and so I like to call it the hanging up the washing one. But basically, we pretend we're putting up a peg with one hand. We've got the other one, and we're going to trace a line over to the other side, and then this hand comes over and joins it, and then it comes back again, and then comes back over to the other side. So swings down and around up to this side, and then back and forth, almost like a pendulum as well. That's another thing you can think of, just going back and then back to that side. Good. And it's quite hard to hold your arms up for a long time. So if you need to take a break at any point, just bring them down. Just for a couple of seconds might be enough just to be able to continue doing this. And if that's quite a lot for your balance as well, you can bring it in closer as well. And that will just help with the balance. And if you've got a cat on your lap and it's in the way, just ask it to move politely. Although from this angle, it looks more like a fox. Good. Right, relaxing those down now. Okay, let's go into our spinal movements now. We're going to start in our neck and start with some looking up, looking down, and going nice and gentle back and forth between the two. Nice, easy movements. And all we're trying to do here is to mobilize the neck. We're not trying to force it into any position that it's uncomfortable in. So just go through a natural range of motion that feels nice, normal, easy. Good work. Let's go into looking side to side now. So look left and right. And again, just nice, easy movements. We don't need to go through some extreme things when we're on about mobility. This is maintenance. It's like with a car, for example, if you're maintaining a car, you're keeping the tires inflated, you're changing the oil, you're making sure everything's running smoothly. You're not doing anything extreme with the car. You're not taking the engine apart, etc. You're not revving it high, all those kind of things. Those are for the other types of sessions that we do, the cardio sessions. That this is all about just small little things that make it all add up to make a big improvement over time and to keep us running the best that we can do. So don't worry about the range of motion that you can do. Don't worry that you can or can't do things perfectly. The movement and the consistency of doing it is far more important than doing it exactly perfectly, or how far you can get or anything like that. Yeah, let's go into some lateral flexion now. So bring it down to one side, to the other, and back and forth between the two. Yeah, and let's go through the rest of our spine now here as well. So we're going to go through extension and flexion. I'm going to turn to the side as well because it's easier to show from there. Essentially with this, what we're trying to do is the best that we can do, curl over, and as I always say, like a prawn. And then we want to arch back like a high jumper and go back and forth between the two. Curling over, arching back. And if this is too much or too painful, just go for a shorter range of motion. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just a small amount of movement in that spine is going to make a huge amount of difference. And if you need to as well, and you can't pull yourself through that movement, you can always use your backrest or the back of your chair just to go through those two movements here. Yeah, let's go into some rotation now. So go one way, then rotate around to the other side, and back and forth between the two. So then let's go into our lateral flexion. So go down to one side, down to the other, and again back and forth between the two. Nice controlled, easy movements. Trying to curl over rather than just bend to the side. Work. Okay, let's come around in a whirlpool. Getting all those bits in between the movements we just did. Let's change direction. Good work. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to our yoga-like movements, but let's have a little hydration break before we do so. Oh, everybody. Okay, so we are going to do some of our yoga movements. These are a bit more of the ones that we test our range of motion a little bit more, try and do the best we can with this, and get some good movement in here. So once everybody has had their drink, we will get started. Nice and simple. We'll start simple and we'll add some complexity to it as we get into it. So we're going to start as we normally do here. We're going to reach down to the floor the best that we can. And then when you come up, try and come up with a flat back, first of all, to about 45 degrees. And then once you've got that, you're going to come back down. And then the next time you come up, you're going to curl up almost like a cobra does. And we're going to go bit by bit, stacking the vertebrae on top of each other. The neck finishes off the movement. As you come up, bring the hands together, reaching up, out, around, and then all the way down back to the starting position at the bottom here, coming up the flat back down. Next time, curling up, slowly but surely, stacking those vertebrae. Neck finishes the movement, hands together, reaching up, out, and around, and really stretch those out and around. You can do a little bit more on the next one as we get into it. So coming up with a flat back down, curling up, palms together, reaching up towards the sky, out, stretch it out and around, and then down to the start. Up with a flat back. Back down. Curling up. Arms together, reaching up towards the sky. Out. Around. And down again. Good work, everybody. Let's do like this one more time. Coming up with the flat back. Back down. Curling up. Excellent. Reaching up towards the sky, out and around. Good. We will start from the beginning, but I'm just going to skip to the bit that we're going to add on. So once we come out and around, we get to this position, we rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and then we go back down to the starting position. So if we could start there together, coming up with the flat back again, back down, curling up. Palms together, reaching up towards the sky, out and around, rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and then back down to the starting position. Back up with the flat back, back down, curling up. Palms together, reaching up, out. Pausing here, rotating to the left, rotating to the right, and then back down. Good. Let's do one more like that before we move on and add another bit. So up with a flat, back down, curling up, reaching up towards the sky, out and around, rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and then bringing it into the middle. Okay, so the next bit we're going to add on, I'm going to turn slightly because it's easier to show you. So when we get to this position, we rotate to the left, then the left hand will drop down, the right arm comes up like a seesaw, and then we seesaw back again, but this time the arm goes onto the lap, we point up towards the sky, and then the gap we've created here, we thread the needle through the arm, and then out. And I'm going to be guiding you every step of the way, and then that's back to the starting position after that. So let's go to the start position all the way down at the bottom, and then we do it all three together. So reaching down towards the floor, come up with the flat back, and then back down. Now we're going to curl up, arms together, reaching up, out, and then stopping here. Let's rotate to the left. Drop the left hand down behind you, right arm comes up like a seesaw. And then we come back again. So the right arm comes down onto the lap. Left arm comes up towards the sky, pointing up the best you can. And then take your left hand, bring it under your right armpit, in the gap you created here, and then reaching over to the other side. Let me show that one more time before we go on to the other side. So when we come up here, so the hands in this position above my head, I've created a gap here, going down and through that gap, and then reaching over, just like so. And if you can't do that position, just come across the body the best you can. That's the other option to do. And I'll be watching and giving any guidance that I need to. Okay, back to the starting position, coming up with a flat back, back down, up the curl back, palms together, reaching up, out. This time we're going to rotate to the right. Drop the right hand down, left arm comes up. Left arm comes down, right arm comes up. Left arm's on the lap, right arm's pointing towards the sky. And then the right arm comes down, threads that needle through the gap, and then reaches over to the other side. Good work. Let's go back to the other side and on the next one, right down to the starting position, and then coming up with that flat back. Back down, curling up. Palms together, reaching up towards the sky, out and around. Rotate to the left. Seesaw back, so left arm drops down, right arm comes up. Then seesaw back again, right arm comes down onto the lap, left arm points up towards the sky. Then left arm comes down through the gap under the right armpit and points to the other side. Easing out of it there again, and then back down to the starting position. Up with the flat back, back down, curling up. Arms together, reaching up towards the sky. Out and around. Rotate to the right. Right arm comes down, left arm comes up. Left arm comes back down, seesawing here. Right arm up towards the sky to start with. And then it comes down, threads the needle through, and then stops in that position. Back out again. Good. Okay. We are just going to add in a few more of those threading the needle movements in, but we're just going to do them by themselves. So what I want you to do is let's first of all start with our right arm on our lap, and let's point the left arm up to the sky, and then come down and through that gap. And I want you to just go back and forth between pointing up and then coming down and through the gap. Just go back and forth between the two. Nice and gentle control. This is a really good movement to get some good mobilization in. And now we're a lot more warmed up in our spine and our shoulders. We can get some real benefit from doing this just a couple more times. And again, don't worry if you can't get fully through here, leaning down, etc. I do understand that we'll have different ranges of motion. Just do the best that you can do, even if it's just coming across the body a little bit. Whatever it is, do what you can do here. I'm not sure if I actually said, but we switched over to the other side. I can't remember if I said it or not. Good work, easing out of that. And before we move on to our meditation here, let's just do some shoulder rotations. Going around. Let's change direction. Just relaxing those off a little bit. And let's close down the eyes and focus in on our breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax ourselves down here. Good. Okay. So today we're going to do two types of meditation. The first one we're going to do is to help us to really relax down with some breathing. So let's focus on that one to begin with. And this is called box breathing. It's called box breathing because you do 4 different movements. You can almost imagine a box or a square, I should really say, as you're doing it. So we breathe in for 4 seconds. We hold the breath in for 4 seconds. We will breathe out for 4 seconds, and then we hold the breath out for 4 seconds. So you can almost imagine that like a square. You breathe in, hold the breath, breathe out, hold the breath out, and then go back and forth. I'm going to be counting for you, so all you need to do is to follow along, and we will start with the breathing in, and I will guide you through it. So when you're ready to, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath in now, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, hold your breath out, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. And then return your breathing to normal again. And just in this moment, notice how your body feels. Notice any relaxation or any sort of whatever it may be. Just notice how your body feels in this situation you're in. Good. That's helped us to start. We're going to keep our eyes closed here as we move into our meditative state that we're going to get ourselves into. And with this, what I want you to do is to, as I say, have your eyes closed, keep your breathing nice and normal, and we're going to open up our mind's eye, and we are going to go for some movement through a beach scene. So what I want you to do is to first of all start to paint the visuals in your mind of a beach. This may be one that you visited, it may be one that you're very familiar with, it may be one that's completely made up within your own mind. Whatever it may be, I want you to just start to picturing the scene of this beach and picturing the sand, or if it's a pebble beach, you got the sea, the sky, what maybe there's a path alongside, there's trees, there's sand dunes, whatever it may be, just to open up that scene and really vividly, as best you can, start to picture the colors and how the light interacts with the scene and whatever else there may be, whether there's birds in the sky, whether there's something off in the distance on the horizon, whether there's people surfing, whether there's people swimming, whatever it may be. Just start to really picture that scene. Just really visualizing it the best we can. Noticing maybe how the light plays on the water, creates that sparkling effect. It also helps the sand to glisten as well a little bit. Maybe noticing little details like people's footprints in the sand, whatever it may be. This is your scene, your place to bring yourself to relax. So just whatever it is, just start to picture those things. Now we've got that visual in our mind, let's start adding some detail using our other senses. So let's open up the mind's ear now as such. So we're going to start, imagine what it would sound like. Maybe there's gentle waves crashing on the beach. Maybe there's a sound of people talking in the distance, birds chirping, wind rushing through trees, whatever it may be. Just start to picture it in your mind, however it feels to you. Again, this doesn't have to be a real place. This can be a completely made up one or an amalgamation of places that you've been to or seen. But just really try and picture it, really give this scene some color, some vibrancy, and focus in on those things. Good. Let's now add our next sense. So we're going to add some smell in there and we get that sea air. Maybe it's very fresh. Maybe there's even some other smells in there, like maybe it's the smell of ice cream, because that's something we usually have at the beach. So just smelling those sort of things, whatever it may be, just start to picture it more within our minds. And then the next sense and the last sense we're bringing today is our sense of touch. So usually when we talk about the beach and the sense of touch, we can talk about like sand between our toes, but we're going to make an adapted version of it here. We're going to put it in between our fingers. You can reach down, you can touch the sand. Just imagine what it would feel like in your hands. Maybe putting your hand in the sea and feeling the coolness of the water. And all those things, just whatever you can feel, in your scene, whatever it might be that allows you to focus in. And keep within your scene, but I want you to do now is to almost bring yourself out of it temporarily and just notice how you feel. I know whenever I do this, my body is in the most relaxed state it can possibly be in. And I feel so much like all the weight's lifted off my shoulders from whatever situation I may be dealing with, or if I just need to relax, or just whatever it may be. I just know that going to this scene just really helps me just to bring that nervous system down, bring the blood pressure down, relaxing part of our bodies. And knowing how to relax is such an important skill in life, not just for when situations are stressful, but for any everyday situation, just to help almost reset yourself, help yourself to relax. And this scene, like, it doesn't matter that it's a beach. It doesn't matter how visual you make it or how good the scene is or whatever it may be. It's about focusing on something completely outside of it and using all your senses to focus on it can really help you just to take your mind away from any other tasks, any other things, and focus on something that's relaxing. And that really helps to, let's say, bring down the heart rate, bring down the blood pressure, bring down the nervous system, and help you to relax. And that's such an important skill for long-term health. It's such an important skill for long-term mental health, short-term mental health as well, and all those things. So when we're ready to, let's start to open up our eyes, bring ourselves back to the room. And we are done there for today's session. Thank you again for joining me. Hope you had a good session today.